Oh, hello. Yeah, you caught me. Greetings, everyone, and welcome. Today's date kind of snuck up on me. I do apologize. I should have been a little more prepared, considering what a major personal event it is for me. And I'm hearing an echo of myself. Hold on a second. I don't need to hear me. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, I can go back here. Sorry, technical difficulties. I haven't done these just on YouTube for a while, so I'm a little rusty on the controls. Just give me a sec here. This. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Sorry. Hi, how's it going? Batman, 1989. 25 years old as of today. It was originally released on Friday, June 23rd, 1989. I was living in Selkirk, Manitoba, which you've seen in many Multimedia Chronicles retro episode. Well, that was the period when I was living in that apartment in Selkirk. That's when Batman came out. And I drove my friends crazy with it. I just went bat nuts. And now, for me, now it's kind of interesting because a lot of other people would be going out and buying memorabilia and whatnot. For me, it's always about the media. So for me, I was actually obsessively recording things off of television because this is before the days of DVD, and Laserdisc was around, but even Laserdiscs, you didn't always get a lot of extras with them. Most of them were just the movie on a Laserdisc. You get the better quality, but nothing in the way of extras. So if you wanted extras for movies back then, you had to record them your own damn self off the TV. So I just scoured the TV guide every single day looking for stuff about Batman the movie, or just Batman in general, because it was also Batman's 50th anniversary that year. So it was like a double whammy of Batmania. We had this, at long last, we had this dark interpretation on the big screen that a lot of us who are fans of the comics had been waiting to see for a very long time. So prior to that, the only live-action one we had, really, that people knew about was the 60s series. Now, yes, we had the movie serials back in the 40s, but and while technically speaking they were the serious Batman, I mean, it's hard to take them seriously. Like, come on. We wanted like a proper, serious, dramatic, dark version of Batman like the comics. And this was the first time that we actually got that. And it had been talked about since, I think the first time I heard them talking about doing it was like 1984 or 85, around the time that The Dark Knight Returns comes out. There had been talk of doing a darker Batman film. And the project was kind of sitting in limbo for a while. Went through, I guess, a few directors. I don't know. I haven't really followed the behind-the-scenes story, but I know that it was kind of in production hell for a while, and one of the big things they were struggling with was how the hell are we going to do the stunts? Like, how are we going to make Batman look and feel and move like Batman with mid-'80s special effects? Like, it just wasn't as easy to do then as it is now. So, come along, Tim Burton came along and figured out how to do it, and did a great job of it, I think. And so I remember going to see the film opening night in a one of the larger theaters in Winnipeg, and it was a freaking packed house. Like, there was just it was a lineup, but not just like a single file lineup. It was a lineup that filled the hall. Like, there was a staircase leading down, and it was pretty much packed with people. We were just this sea of people being herded towards the theater. And finally getting, I didn't go with anybody. None of my friends were available. I was single at the time. I was, 18? Just barely 18 at the time. So I just went by myself. I didn't care. I was fucking Batman, man. I just wanted to get in there and see it. So sat down next to one of the fellow patrons, and we were just, chit-chatting a little bit. And he was like, yeah, I've been really looking forward to this. And I just said, yeah, I've been actually waiting for this for a very long time. And he's like, yeah, everybody has. But I don't think he quite understood what I meant. Was I had literally been waiting for it for a very long time, like at least 5 years since I'd first heard them, sort of toying with the idea of doing a new live-action Batman in the darker style, and at last here I was sitting in the theater about to see it. Now, of course, as I say, I was obsessively taping all the news stories and interviews and Entertainment Tonight episodes and Late Night with David Letterman appearances and anything I could get my hands on. 2020 even did a big feature about it, where they did like a 20-minute long behind-the-scenes look at it, and they interviewed Bob Kane, who was still alive at the time, and they did like a walking tour with Bob Kane around the Gotham City set, and it was just amazing. I think you actually see some clips of that on the Blu-ray extras, but they've never actually released that full segment, unfortunately. So I'm very happy that I recorded it that day it was on. So now, I mean, being a huge fan of the movie, it's great to have that archive. I've slowly been in the process of digitizing everything, archiving it and organizing it. And it's great going back and looking at it, and you can really see how the excitement was building and how even the media was just going nuts for Batman. So here I was in the theater about to see Batman. At long last, it had happened. Now, I knew I had some idea what to expect because, of course, I've been following all the news stories and stuff, but man, it was like the excitement was palpable. You could literally just cut it with a knife. It was amazing. So I'm just going to quickly open up the comments here and just see if anybody said anything. We're going by the YouTube comments here, guys. So if you're looking for me over on the Geeky Chat, I'm not there. So go to the YouTube page and check out the comments there and leave any comments, questions, whatever there. I know it's kind of backwards from the way we usually do these things, but as I say, I'm not doing this as a geeky event. I'm just doing this as a Zaran Isaac event. So it's just me. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, so needless to say, I expect I'll have quite a lot to say over the course of the movie. So how can you watch along with me? Well, pretty simple. I would assume most of you own the movie by this point in some form, and if not, you should have access to some version of it anyway. Myself, I'll be watching, I'll be picking one of these, either the lovely Digibook that was sent to me a while back by Ishimura Crewman 87, or the Batman Anthology Collection version. Both of these are the exact same disc, so honestly, it doesn't really matter which one you watch. But yeah, I'll be watching the Blu-ray. Just to give you a little look at some of my Batman memorabilia, I was saying how the date kind of snuck up on me. I actually did pull out all my Batman stuff a while back, intending to do the anthology. I think it was last Halloween. I was going to do a Batman segment, and then it occurred to me that the 25th anniversary was this year, so why not just wait one more year and then do it then? So I put all the Batman stuff away again, and I can't remember what box I put it in. It's all together, so as soon as I find that box, I've got everything. It's all there. But yeah, anyway, there's a few things that I left out. Of course, we have the novelization. The novelization is fun because it actually contains some scenes that didn't make it into the movie and some alternate versions of scenes that are in the movie. This is often the case with novelizations. So yeah, so it's, I guess, adapted from a slightly earlier version of the script. It's basically the same story, but there's a couple of notable differences in there which are a lot of fun. And then, of course, the original comic book adaptation, which is just beautiful, actually. I really love the artwork in this. There was actually a couple of versions of this published, the same contents inside. This is like the deluxe prestige format edition. This is the same sort of square-bound format that the Dark Knight Returns comics were published in. Nice heavy stock cover, glossy pages, just really, really classy edition. Needless to say, I kept this in primo condition all these years. And then finally, I do have the Prince soundtrack with all the Prince songs. A few, I've had it on a few editions. I had it on audio tape originally, and then I had the CD. I don't think I have the CD anymore. I was trying to find it. I need to acquire that again. But I think I still have the audio cassette somewhere, but with all that Batman stuff. I do, however, have the score on CD. This is the actual Danny Elfman score, which was fantastic. What else? Oh, Castlevania 6661 is asking, Sean, what's your opinion of the the Batman versus Superman movie directed by Zack Snyder? Well, I have no opinion because it's still in production. I mean, we don't even have. We've had some pictures of the guys in their costumes, but that's. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how anyone can actually have any opinion about it at this point because we know jack shit about it. I will say this though, actually, since we're on the subject. It's funny. I kind of see a lot of history repeating itself lately, with the whole kerfuffle surrounding Ben Affleck being cast as Batman, and because here it is, 25 years later, after Batman '89, we have all this kerfuffle about Ben Affleck being cast as Batman. The fan community in an uproar over it, and 25 years ago. This is before the internet, so people would actually write into magazines and stuff. 25 years ago, we had the same kerfuffle about Michael Keaton being cast as Batman. So my take, at least as far as the casting goes, is, well, Michael Keaton surprised everybody. He really did. And now he seems to be largely considered one of the all-time great live-action Batmans. And to me, he's my personal favorite live-action Batman. I mean, obviously, everybody loves Adam West and just the cheesiness of the 60s thing. I mean, that's the 60s show is its own thing. I never bring that in as a comparison to the movies and the dark movies and stuff. No, I think the 60s show stands alone as its own thing, and we all love it for different reasons. But in terms of the big screen Batmans, the Dark Knight Batmans, if you will. I've always felt that Michael Keaton was the best. I know a lot of people love Christian Bale just because they love the Dark Knight movies. Honestly, the Dark Knight movies have their moments, but I have more problems with them than I do good things to say about them. I think they're okay, but to me, the mark of a good movie is, well, partly, how inclined are you to watch it again? I saw Batman Begins in the theater, and I have owned it on DVD and Blu-ray, and I don't think I've watched it all the way through again even once since then. I thought it was okay, but yeah, it was okay. Now, The Dark Knight I enjoyed a lot more, due in no small part to Heath Ledger as the Joker. But again, even that, as good as I thought it was, I think there are a lot of problems with it, which I will probably get into at some point whenever I do the long-awaited review of the movie. I'd like to review all of them, actually. Maybe we'll do that as well. It's part of the Batman celebration this year. I was kind of planning to do that anyway. But The Dark Knight I've seen a few times, maybe three or four. I enjoyed it more. The Dark Knight Rises, I did not see in the theater. It's actually the only one that I didn't see in the theater. And I've seen it once. And again, I thought it had its moments, but it just didn't grab me as much. Now, I want to talk about repeat watchability. Batman 1989, I saw 3 times in the theater. And then I bought it on VHS. I lost count of how many times I watched it on VHS, like the original VHS release. Then I bought it on Laserdisc a few years later. Watched that a few times. Then I bought the original DVD release of the Anthology collection that had all 4 of them, and watched that a couple of times. And now I've got it on Blu-ray. I've actually only watched the Blu-ray once so far. Oh, maybe twice. No, I watched it twice. Yeah, once for the movie and once with the Tim Burton commentary. So there you go. So Javi says, I've never seen this movie in full. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm sure for a lot of you it may be the exact opposite, whereas I haven't seen the Dark Knight trilogy that much because it just didn't grab me as much. You may not have seen these ones as much because they didn't grab you as much. They are a very different vibe to the Dark Knight trilogy. They do feel more comic booky, if you will, a little more artsy, especially in their visual design and whatnot. Me, personally, I love the visual style of Tim Burton, and I think he created a very interesting-looking Gotham City and just world. Not just him, but I mean his production designers as well. The inimitable Anton Furst doing the the production design for the first one that we're about to watch here. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that kind of gives you all the background info that I wanted to get into. I just wanted to give folks a chance to get here. I'm actually just going to check the Facebooks real quick. See what everybody's doing. If there's any comments there. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see who's watching. I can just see how many people are watching. Yeah, so hello, whoever's watching. So I won't know if you're actually watching unless you comment. So again, comment on the YouTube page. I'm not in the Geeky TV chat. I don't even know if there's something going on Geeky TV right now. I don't know, honestly. But anyway, so I'll be responding to comments and questions in the YouTube chat there. And yeah, so I guess we should begin the movie. So the way we're going to be watching the movie is very similar to how we do the other group viewings. Basically, I'll just give you a 3, 2, 1 play countdown. You want to hit play on play, and then we'll be more or less in sync. Now, I should mention I'm going to be watching the Blu-ray, so if you're also watching the Blu-ray, great. Otherwise, if you're watching I know a lot of you are from the UK and from abroad compared to where I am, and I'm watching the Digibook, by the way. And if so, if you're watching a PAL format DVD, you will slowly drift out of sync because the PAL version will be running slightly faster. So ideally, you want to watch the Blu-ray, which will be at the same speed, or you want to watch an NTSC DVD or DVD rip or what have you. Always, that will always be the case unless we specifically mention otherwise. Like if we happen to be watching a British show. Actually, if we're watching a British show, PAL to NTSC, there's no change in the timing. There's a change in the frame rate, but the way it's converted, there's actually no change in the speed. But for some reason, NTSC to PAL, they speed it up by 4%. Film to PAL, they speed it up by 4%. I don't know why. I'm no expert on such things, and even if I was, I'm sure it's very boring and technical. Have a little bit of munchies for tonight. Got some leftover popcorn from last night's Django viewing. Got a little bit of ketchup chips left. And a white chocolate, gigantic white chocolate Kit Kat. There we go. And in terms of beverages, I just have some water. Alrighty. So let me just refresh the comments here. Okay, seems to be... Oh, okay, Javi says he's seen Batman Returns. Yeah, actually, for a long time, Batman Returns was my favorite out of the 4. I tend to lean more towards this one, just because it's a little bit heavier on the nostalgia factor. But a lot of people hated Batman Returns because it was so dark, but funny enough, that's what I liked about it. I liked that it was so dark. I wanted it to be more dark, more darker, and I thought Danny DeVito was amazing as the Penguin. And hello, Mr. Positive Gamer. And Castlevania 6661 says, first time seeing this movie again in a while. Okay, I just realized I need to move my I need to move the PS3 over to the monitor here. So just give me a moment. Uno momento. I put it up on the big TV when Rosie's here. Otherwise, I just have it through the HDMI on the monitor, and that's I'm going to be watching it tonight. That way Rosie can play video games on the couch and stuff like that. You know, it's nice. It's nice. Where are we going here? Display. Here we go. Output. HDMI. Go. Come on. Boom, yeah. Baby, yeah. Yes. Good. Good. Switch the audio connectors over. See, I do all this stuff on a daily basis, and my job consists of helping little old ladies figure out how to use the input button, and it's like that completely baffles them. Like, really? The concept of the input button is so far beyond. Come on. Alrighty. Anyway, Everybody ready to begin? I think we should begin. We can talk more during the movie. Now, because it's just me and I don't have the other gang here, I'm probably going to feel inclined to talk a lot more. So expect a lot of gabbing from me, but that's okay. It's supposed to be kind of a commentary anyway. So I kind of gave you the background, all the build-up of excitement to see the movie. So let us go back to that Friday night in 1989. And you guys can all be sitting elsewhere in the theater, unbeknownst to 18-year-old me, while I sit there in awe, unblinking, staring at the screen as the lights go down and Batman begins. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Batman 1989 starts. Alright, just hold on a second here. Hold on. How's this? Some Warner titles like to just go straight into the movie. Oh my god, just fuck off, bus. Seriously. Alright, apparently this is one of those. Okay, good. So you should have a running time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 19 seconds. Funny enough, Batman Returns runs almost exactly the same length. I don't know if that was by design or just a coincidence. Okay. Oh, awesome! We got a lot of folks here. Here we go. Sorry, the YouTube comments take a little bit of time to update, so I'm going to try to get to them when I can. I'll sort of divide my time between them. Yeah, so we're starting at the black right at the beginning. It just starts with the Warner Brothers logo, and the Batman music begins right away during the logo. So just start at the black, start at 0, and we'll be good to go. We'll begin in just a moment here. That guy 11011 says I was a year and 4 months old when this movie hit theaters. Keith Huntington says, what about Batman 69? I saw that for the first time on Blu-ray here a while back and lulled at so many spots. Good stuff. Oh god, yeah, the 60s Batman movie is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Might watch that one just, for the heck of it. We're finally getting the TV series on DVD. That's been a long time coming. Definitely looking forward to that. Castlevania says, love Batman Returns. Need to pick it up on Blu-ray sometime. Keith corrects himself, says, or Batman 67, whatever. Yeah, I think it was 60. Was it 67? I thought it was 66, actually. Or was that TV? I don't know. It came out while the show was on the air. That's how popular Batman was at the time. Mr. Positive Gamer asks, I got a question. How long have you been doing YouTube? Because I subscribed to your channel a year ago. I have been doing YouTube since, I believe it was March 13th, 2006. So, 8 years? 7 years? 8 years. 8 years I've been doing YouTube. 5 years of which I've been doing the Multimedia Chronicles. I didn't do the Multimedia Chronicles right away. That came later. And Roberto Rivera is also joining us, says I was born 3 years after the 89 Batman, but my father saw it in theaters, lucky fella. Yeah, I saw it, well, I mentioned earlier, I saw it 3 times in the theater. Yeah, and it was awesome. The only other movie prior to that I had seen 3 times in the theater was Howard the Duck. Shut up. Okay, shall we begin the movie? Yes. Yes, let's begin the movie, because we got a long way to go. All right, so here we are. Here we are in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Friday, June 23rd, 1989. The lights go down. There's a respectful hush over the audience. And this is what we hear. Well, after my countdown, this is what we hear. 3, 2, 1, play. Right from this first moment, what I was thinking in my head was, this truly is the dark Batman we've been waiting for all this time. Just seeing this opening scene, and this tone, this feel, this look, I knew we were in for something special. And the part that really clinched it for me, that part right there. I was just like, Serious Batman is serious. Yeah. And I just love this opening sequence, how you're still not entirely sure what you're looking at. Like, is this like a part of a building in Gotham maybe, or just something? I love the uncertainty of it. Well, also the fact that it's just this gray stone. There's a lot of gray, muted tones throughout this movie, which, almost give it kind of a noir look and feel to it. Yeah. One of Danny Elfman's greatest scores ever. And obviously a lot of people think so because you still hear clips from this score being used in so much other Batman stuff. The Lego Batman games, for example, almost the entire music score is taken from this movie. In fact, I think the entire music score is taken from this movie. I swear, I was like almost weeping at this point in the theater. Like, I was so excited to be finally seeing this brought to the screen. And there it is. I've been looking at the Bat logo this whole time. Oh, look at that. Now that is fucking Gotham City, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll say, that's one of the big problems I have with the Christopher Nolan movies. Gotham City, as a city, has no character to it. It just looks like a big, normal, average city. Like, there's nothing special or unique about it. This Gotham City was hugely influential on Batman lore going forward. In fact, there was even a multi-part story called Gothic, in which this mad, crazy guy wanted to restore the old Gothic look of Gotham. And that was largely due to the popularity of this movie. People just loved the look of it. Oh, first Prince song going by there. The Future. There's a huge track on the album, but you only hear that like 2 seconds of it here. To me, this scene really shows just how corrupt Gotham is. Yeah. A hooker propositioning like a 10-year-old. Such a good, wholesome family town, Gotham is. But I just love how beautifully like this opening scene establishes just how far gone Gotham is as far as the crime rate and everything and the corruption. Living in Toronto, um, the panhandlers often are that aggressive. Well, they're not that aggressive, but the other guy. Like, they would walk after you and, like, yell at you if you didn't give them change. And, of course, we all see the parallel between that and Batman's origin story. Yes, we know that was cell animated, and yes, it wasn't that good, even for 1989. But the landscape that he was overlooking looked fucking awesome. Alas, poor Johnny Gobbs. I heard that the bat got him. I love it. Oh, and they said shit. They said shit in a Batman movie. That was a big deal at the time, too. Crunch, crunch. Speak of the devil. Classic. Love it. The "What are you" clip was in all the reviews. Like, it was everywhere. What are you? I'm Batman. Who else would have loved to see Lando Calrissian as Two-Face? You know, I mean, clearly that was being set up here. That would have been awesome. I would have been all over that. Oh, well. So the thing that strikes me about that scene on the rooftop with the crooks there is that it established so many things that have been the norm for Batman ever since. First off, it showed just how fucking badass Michael Keaton actually was in the role. Second, you have the Batman voice, which we didn't have before. Michael Keaton gave that to us. It has been the norm ever since. You know, I like to point these things out for people who still shit on Keaton in the role, and it's like, you realize how influential his performance, like his take on Batman, has been to all subsequent versions of Batman? Like, there literally has not been one since that has not been played the way Keaton did it to some extent. Yeah. Oh. Now, complete opposite side of the coin there. As soon as it was announced that Jack Nicholson was playing the Joker, holy shit. Everyone was like, oh my god, yes. Yes, please, yes. Multi-super reviews. Who is your favorite Batman actor? I guess you missed that part earlier. Michael Keaton, definitely. And for animated, well, obviously Kevin Conroy. Although Peter Weller was fucking amazing in The Dark Knight Returns as the aged, world-weary Batman. Gotta love Jack. Even when it's just Jack being Jack. I like this gruff lieutenant. Oh, another shit. I liked... I always liked Robert Wuhl. And I don't think he got enough respect for his performance as the muckraking reporter. I always liked his character in this. Oh, notice the hat. That is the Joker hat, but black. It's almost like a bit of that thing they call foreshadowing. I Am Park says, best scene, Kim Basinger's legs. Oh, Daniel Medina says Jack Nicholson was Bob Kane's only choice for the Joker. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, it was pretty much a no-brainer as far as everybody else was concerned. Love the little eye twitch there. A1 Nuts Boy. Very subtle. Guy playing Bob, you guys might recognize from Conan the Destroyer. He had much more lines of dialogue in that. Jack's right-hand man. Yes, I was going to say that. Roberto says, reminds me a lot of Harvey Bullock from the animated series. I think that's who he's supposed to be a callback to. Or the character in the comics at this point, of course, because the animated series didn't come out until 92. I like how the mayor's just like, well, now you have to do all the things that I promised. So, yeah. Zach Sanders asks, that's an actual Bob Kane drawing, by the way. You may notice the signature. There we go. Kim Basinger's greatest scene there, according to I Am Parks. Or best scene in the movie right there. Kim Basinger's legs. See? Come on. He has some great lines in there. Got me to pose nude, you're going to need a long lens. Oh. So Skinslip just informed me that the plugin for Geeky TV was still active from last night, and apparently there are people in the chat. Let's all go to the Geeky chat, shall we? Oops. Well, you know, eating light can still be expensive. Have you seen how much salads cost nowadays? Come on. Jack Palance. Excuse me. And he has his purple suit on. He knows there's something going on between them two. Did you notice the line he said there was the same forwards as backwards? That's all, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. That's all. Well, damn. Ratted out by his own boss. See, I also like the fact that the Batman, it doesn't always need to be supervillains. You know, it can just be corrupt politicians or mobsters or just bad guys. In fact, the animated series often had Batman versus the mob and stuff like that. Just things that didn't involve supervillains necessarily. To me, that almost makes it more believable because it makes it, you know, just got this guy in a bat costume with all these gadgets dealing with actual real crime. You know, makes it more plausible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love Alfred following him everywhere, catching everything. Best butler ever. Reflexes of a cat. I get the impression from that little exchange that Gordon knows that Eckhart's on the take, he just hasn't been able to prove it yet. That's always been my interpretation of that anyway. I love it. I love his lines in this. Raptor says Keaton can play a straight man, a crazy man, a Batman. He can do it all. It's true. He can. He's a very versatile actor. I'm glad to see him getting back in the spotlight. recently too. I think you should go by the. I love that. Oh, and give Knox a grant. One of the big questions has been like, okay, Alfred says go that way, but there's no visible exit from the room that way. So did they just see him go into a secret wall panel behind the bookcase or something? Like, and think nothing of it. Oh, it's just the rich being weird. Whatever. No way he could be Batman or anything. That's just silly. I love that apparently all these security cameras use 35mm film. I have to say also I really liked Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon. Longtime character actor. He's been, just look him up on IMDb, he's been in like everything. Oh. It's too bad there isn't a better match between the mats and the foreground elements, but who cares? The matte paintings are beautiful. I can forgive them. I should mention also, I like the kind of undefined time period of the movie, because it's like you have video security cameras and whatnot, yet everything is cars that look like they're out of the 40s and clothes that look like they're out of the 40s or out of a film noir. You know, there's elements from all these different eras just kind of smushed together, and somehow it works. You know, and they kept that with the animated series. If anything, they did that to a greater extent in the animated series. Had this Art Deco look and feel to the whole thing, which is very much like a 50s design philosophy. But continuing on the ideas from this, where it's like kind of in a undefined time period. It's its own world. It's its own thing. That's what I liked about it. Oh, okay. The remaker says Harvey Bullock appeared again in Batman Arkham Origins, voiced by the same actor. Robert Costanzo was the actor who did the voice of Bullock in the animated series. Another very accomplished character actor. He was Commissioner Stenchler in the Sewer Shark Sega CD and 3DO game, CD-ROM game. He was also a mobster that went up against Andy Sipowicz in the first season of NYPD Blue. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a really good character actor. Often plays mobsters. I thought he was great as Harvey Bullock. This is great. A lot of clips from this scene made the rounds in on the news and whatnot. You know, they have a clips package that they send around to all the stations who want to do stories about it and stuff. First time he's seen Batman. It's all been rumors and hearsay up to this point. He's like, oh my god, he's real. And all those cops get turned into Jokers too. Wham! That's great. The thing I love about it, and this is as it should be, is Batman is a man of few words. When he is being Batman, his actions speak more than anything else. At least in moments like this, where no words are necessary. Now that little bum, bum, bum part was actually added in. It's not actually a part of that section of the score. If you listen to the music from this scene on the soundtrack album, you don't hear that part in there. And what's interesting is, in that 2020 article I was telling you about, they have a segment where they talk to Danny Elfman, and you see him discussing with I guess, the conductor of the orchestra, and I think with Tim Burton, the music for this scene, and he's like, there's just something missing. There's just had like a bum bum bum, and that's the part he's talking about. So it's kind of funny to see that side of the creative process, and that, you know, because when you actually listen to that, it sounds really out of place. Like, it works visually because that's when Batman bursts through the window, but musically, it just seems kind of out of nowhere in the middle of the rest of the music. So you listen to it on the score, it actually flows quite nicely. It's a great piece. Oh, blood. Something we'd never seen in an on-screen live-action Batman up to this point. And there we go. I love this. He waits for the smoke, and then that's all they see. They just see him flying away. That's great. Uh, that almost looks like a fake hand. Like, I don't know if he was just not moving his fingers or if it was a fake hand. But I love the freaking sprawling estate they got for Wayne Manor too, like for the exteriors. I love how ridiculous this scene is. 'Cause, I mean, you wouldn't like sit there and there. No, let's sit at opposite ends of this gargantuan table, because that's nice and intimate and friendly. I just love how ridiculous every part of this scene is. Time for some popcorn. Now, I guess in terms of accuracy to established Batman lore at the time, in the comics, the Joker didn't have a name other than the Joker. Like, nobody knew who he was before then. So it was odd to me that they decided to give him a name in this, namely Jack Napier. My familiarity with the Joker's origin was the Killing Joke, which is, now considered a modern classic Batman story. But it was the Joker story written by Alan Moore with art by Brian Boland. Brian Boland at the time was best known for his work on Judge Dredd in 2000 AD. But it was interesting because you saw, there was a modern story of the Joker, getting revenge on Batman and whatnot. But then there was also a flashback story that told the origin of the Joker. It had been kind of hinted at over the years, but I think this was the first time that they'd really told it flat out and showed how he became the Joker. I just watched I've been watching the old seasons of The Simpsons. It's also the 25th anniversary of The Simpsons this year. Currently just finishing up season 5. And there was the episode where Lisa needed braces. And there's a parody of this scene in that episode. I should mention a little behind-the-scenes story about this. Tim Burton was still quite young when he made this film. He was 29 years old. 29 years old, and he'd already made got a lot of attention with, Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice. So here he was, not even 30 yet, and he had been given what the studio was pressuring him to make, the biggest blockbuster of the summer, like the showcase blockbuster. So when he was directing this scene, he was really feeling the pressure, and he was very stressed out about the whole situation, to the point where his own creative vision wasn't even clear to him. So when he was filming that scene with Jack and the doctor there, Jack was just asking him for some clarification on his character's motivation for that scene. And he asked him, so why why am I going up the stairs after? And Tim Burton just kind of looked at him blankly and just said, I don't know. Like, he was just so stressed by all the studio pressure and everything, and somehow he managed to persevere, and I mean, everything turned out fine in the end. But I just remember reading an interview with him where he was talking about that, saying how I was just completely losing it at some points. But he got it together, and he got it, you know, figured out. But I just remember that particular scene. I always think back to that interview every time I see Jack going up the stairs at the end of the scene. Now, we don't think anything of it, because we just think, oh, he's just, you know, going off to do his mad plans or whatever. And Jack, of course, being amazing, sells the scene. Regardless, we don't even think anything of it. But I just thought that was interesting that... And I absolutely agree, Raptor. The Killing Joke definitely needs to be done as an animated movie. It would get that nice trifecta of year one, Dark Knight Rises, and The Killing Joke, the ultimate 80s Batman stories. This is a great reveal, I have to say. That look on his face right before he starts shooting, perfect Joker expression. And just from a cinematic standpoint, I love the juxtaposition of the happy, fun carnival music as he's brutally gunning down Grissom. One thing that's a little fuzzy is the time frame. Because it seems that he went from being shot and scarred and chemically burned in Axis chemicals to having plastic surgery to being fully back up and running, recovering, and seeking out his revenge in the space of like a day. He even says right there, what a day. Now, you may think, oh, well, it probably occurred over several days, but watch closely. Bruce and Vicky are having their first date during that whole sequence of events. Wow. He must have the healing power of Wolverine. Okay, this part was... I'm sorry, but this part is just silly. Come on. He likes to sleep upside down like a bat. No, if you sleep upside down, your head will explode. I like how the audio continues over the change of shot there. Nice. Raptor says, when I was a kid watching this on VHS, the Joker reveal scared the popcorn out of my bowl. That's great. Dustin Bull says, Alfred, confirmed best wingman. Absolutely. He just got him Kim Basinger. Like, come on. Which reminds you of a Family Guy moment with the doctor. I don't know how to say this. Is it Kim Basinger? Or Basinger? Bassinger? Bassinger? I have no idea. Again, an indication that all of this happened in one day. Notice he doesn't actually take a drink. He just kind of tilts the glass, because I imagine it was freaking impossible to take a drink in that with those prosthetics. The Dark Knight scene was totally a callback to this. Totally a callback to this. I was so glad they did something really nasty with the Joy Buzzer. I always thought that was really good. I thought that was really impressive how they did the makeup, and I'm still like wondering how exactly they did it. Where he wipes off the flesh tone and you see the white underneath. Because the white is his skin. His skin is stained white by the chemicals. That was one thing that bugged me about the interpretation of the Joker in The Dark Knight, was that they basically just went with, oh, he just wears clown makeup. It's like, no, he's chemically scarred. His skin is stained white. You know. A lot of people didn't seem to get that he was doing a Jack Palance impersonation there. I don't know how you can miss that. It seems kind of obvious. He is saying to Bob what Grissom said to him, word for word and inflection for inflection, and heavy breathing for heavy breathing. Jack Nicholson as Jack Napier imitating Jack Palance. Jack, Jack, Jack. I like the little teeth clatter there. And just the fact that he's having a conversation with a corpse. Hunter Coaster asks, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Z-Lee, pick up a 25th anniversary Blu-ray of Batman 89 if Warner releases one. Possibly. There's been a few re-releases. Honestly, most of them have just been repackages. Like, I don't have the Steelbook or anything. I was going to pick this one up if it hadn't been gifted to me. It was gifted to me, so I didn't have to. But I was definitely planning to pick this one just because it's a really nice digibook and has some great behind-the-scenes photos in it. So, if they do a 25th anniversary Blu-ray of it, it would have to have some significant additional content or be a significant remaster of the film. Because thus far, all the releases since the anthology set came out have just been repackages of the same discs. So if it's just a repackage of the same disc, I won't bother. But if it's got new content, then maybe we'll see. God, I just love the Gotham set. And it's a huge set. Like they took over the Warner backlot to make this set. Like it is massive, massive set. Like this is not a location. This is a set. So the actual buildings would stretch up, so high, and then they'd have the top for the, the wide shots. They'd have the top portions finished off with matte paintings. But you can see even just in this low-angled shot here, just how high up those false buildings actually go before they even need to fill them in with a matte painting. Like this, all this is actual set. None of that is a matte painting. It's huge. Just shows how much confidence Warner had in this film and how big they wanted it to be. And boy, was it ever. In the novelization, you get a little bit about Bruce Wayne's thoughts on the mimes in this scene. First, that, wow, that guy is like the worst mime I've ever seen. This is basically what he's thinking right here. Like, that guy's terrible. And then he's like, why are there so many mimes? Like, seriously, what's up with all the mimes? That's great. Although he kills him with a feather pen. And you don't question it. Bruce Wayne's expression there is going to be like, the fuck? Were you following me? But not necessarily. She could have been just there to cover the press conference. Oh my god, the theater bust out laughing every single time at this part. Alfred playing matchmaker. Multi Super Reviews asked me a couple of times, what do I think of Val Kilmer as Batman? I thought he was okay as Batman, but honestly, I thought he was kind of dull as Bruce Wayne, to be honest. And I say that as someone who really likes Val Kilmer, too. Like, I enjoy a lot of his movies. Real Genius is one of my all-time favorite college comedy movies. Hmm. Oh, I never noticed that before. Experimental results for what the Joker calls Smilex. Hmm. I actually never noticed that before. That's great. So you know that is the room of a madman. Clearly. I think some of you may be watching the PVR version rather than the live version because you're commenting on stuff I talked about 20 minutes ago. Either that or the comments are really slow to update. She has some serious shoulder pads going on. Because he put such a pause on in Smilex. He's like, Smilex. And when he gets to the X part, the producer's talking. So a lot of people in the theater, what do you call it? Smiley? Like, no. Chemistry. Cosmetic scare. This is great. I, I love that he has two gigantic, disgusting zits on his face. And she looks like death warmed over. But they look good. They must import their products. Imported soap. Dun dun dun. Again, here we go. Makeup over the makeup. Awesome. I saw this with a friend of mine who had read many of the same Batman comics that I had growing up, and similar familiarity with the lore, and just the reactions at certain parts. You know, that part being a simple reaction of because he's done something, but I love that you don't know. You don't know what. You don't know what the circumstances were, but you know it's something nasty. This museum scene is great. Classic Joker moment. The Flugelheim, like that. Mm-hmm. Pink and green. Should that not be purple and green? Just saying. Or I love that it's written in crayon. That's great. That's a very Joker thing to do. Put this on right now. And it looks like a strawberry. Mm-hmm. Hmm. By the way, I'd just like to say the Mater D, who was the first one to drop there, I thought his performance was terrible. Because he just basically standing there, thud. Like, he didn't noticeably breathe at all. Cue another Prince song. I have to say, I wasn't much of a Prince fan before this, mainly just due to unfamiliarity with his music. But in all honesty, I really enjoyed the songs that he composed for this. In particular, because I think a lot of them are quite appropriate for the Joker. Party Man. This was one of the other music videos they did. Everybody's seen Batdance. Well, there was one for Party Man as well. The Party Man video is a lot of fun. The $1 bill. He likes the most morbid one. The guy holding the boombox has an awesome stash. Double tape deck, notice that? If anyone questions the continuity of that, there's two tape decks. So one could be playing Party Man, the other has Moonlight Sonata, or whatever the hell this is. I recognize the song, I can't remember the name. Yeah. Raptor says, are we really an hour in? The pacing is top notch. Yeah, it is. It's actually a very fast paced film, which is. And it's another one of those movies where. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you in a moment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is great. I'm melting. I'm melting. Ah, you can see the wire. God damn it. That's okay. It was still awesome. Well, then again, I guess he could have been coming in on a grappling wire. Yeah. That's fine. He doesn't necessarily. I always got the feeling he was supposed to be gliding in, like with the cape glider-ness, but it could have been on a line, I guess. We can let that one go. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Classic line. At last, we see the Batmobile. I was going to say, does it occur to anyone we haven't actually seen the Batmobile yet? And just, boom, Batmobile. Easily one of my favorite Batmobiles right there. Just love the retro futuristic design. Notice the Joker's cars are purple and green, of course. Mm-hmm. Such a great Batmobile. That's fine. Just bill it to the city. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is so awesome. Before the days of CG, folks, that effect was done some other way that I'm not entirely sure. But it wasn't CG. I think it was actually just stop motion with a little bit of cell animation in it. On 108. That's great. Hey, the guy who said, "Who is this guy?" I think he played the captain in Red Dwarf. Yeah. Yeah, damn. Now, my question is, did they actually see his face? I think they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Mac McDonald, I think his name is. Another character actor. A lot of character actors in this. A cast of character actors. I'm gonna look that up right now. $1989. Yeah, that was him. He was also in Aliens, but only the extended cut. Yeah. This is why Bob has survived, because he knows when it's better to just run away. Mhm. Mhm. Say you're fat, you just weigh a little more. Ah, continuity error. He said, stop, and put it down, and then when it stops, he's still holding it up. Just a little thing. Oh, this piece of music, right here. One of my favorites on the whole score. Love it. I'm just going to shut up and listen, because I love this. I just love this part. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, I love the shots in this. The long lens shots of the Batmobile roaring through the forest. Beautiful. I love this moment, too. She's trying to get a good, clear look at him. He's like, oh. Through the false wall. Fantastic. I love that. We get a little bit of Batmobile action in the first scene, and then you get all those just gorgeous shots of it rocketing through the forest and that dramatic choir music. Ah, ah. I like my cave to be dangerous. Of course, bats. And the one in the cage is the one that scared the shit out of him as a little kid and inspired him to become Batman. At least that's what some people say. Yeah, Thriller Terrain says my favorite Batmobile is the one from the animated series. It looked like a long limo, but was so cool. Yeah, yeah. The TV series one was another one of my favorites. The animated series, that is. I like the '60s one too, but that's again, it's a whole different thing. What people? I want to suck your blood. I love that they play on that little thing of everybody thinks Batman's a vampire. But no, it was the film. Because I think they did actually successfully unmask him in that alley scene, and she took a picture of it. So, but enough. So that begs the question: does she now know that Bruce? Like, did she recognize him when she took the picture, or should you just see enough to focus the picture, but couldn't actually see it? So that's the big question. Just awash with zits. Oh my god. Huge batches of Clearasil being flown in from overseas. Hmm. Bob is a good henchman. That's awesome. Hmm. Tell your reporter girlfriend the truth about your secret identity. Yes, that's a great idea, Alfred. Castlevania asks, what do I think is the greatest Batmobile of all time? Clearly the one from Batman and Robin? No. That's up to debate. I mean, everybody's going to have their own take on it. I know some people are really wet for the Tumbler, but honestly, I was never a big fan of the Tumbler. I thought the Tumbler worked fine, like as a prototype Batmobile, but I was expecting to see a more proper Batmobile in the subsequent movies. But now it just stayed as the Tumbler the whole time, and I was disappointed. Um, it's hard to say. There's been a lot of different Batmobiles throughout the comics as well, you know. So it depends how many Batmobiles you want to factor into it. I would say it would be a toss-up between the '60s one and the '89 one, honestly. And Vicky Vale, you slept with him on the first date. So there you go, kids. Batman had sex. Think about that. I love this. She's like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Hmm. I think how the big bald guy, his only job is to carry the boombox around. That's it. I'm going to have some Angry Birds Halloween fruit gummies. Yeah, I know. It's like I swear I have a limitless supply of these. I need to finish them off before they get any more stale. Eh. Even the bag is stale. Mm. Oh. I like how the whole time it's been the boombox playing my music. Hmm. And Batman's dead. The end! It's just never rub another man's rhubarb. Okay. Such a random line. I love it. Now, I always found that scene kind of awkward. It just feels a little bit out of place. Just kind of let's give Michael Keaton a scene where he can be the crazy Michael Keaton. Um, I never really felt that scene as much as that's a great moment. Yeah, the hand with the dead flowers. But just the whole thing of, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts! And then the Joker points the gun at him. Like, okay, you know you're taking things a little too far and going a little bit too far, too over the top, if the Joker tells you to take it down a notch. That should be a big clue. What do you suppose it does to a kid? Makes him go a little crazy, so he dresses up like a bat to take out his revenge on every single criminal he can get his hands on. Oh, Raptor crashed. Did everyone crash? I am still live, am I not? Pretty sure I am. I should be. Yeah, I'm still live. Michael Gough as Alfred, just like to say at this juncture. Oh, look at those beautiful matte paintings. That's wonderful. Uh, Great character actor, Michael Gough. Doctor Who fans may know him as the Celestial Toy Maker from the final William Hartnell season. Now, did they not see Joker sitting there on the other screen the whole time? And I like that the mayor's looking at that screen, too. Uh-huh. Hey, 80s biker gang. I love how he does that. Just pushes him off the screen. I like that he says, I've taken off my makeup. But we, of course, know the truth. He's actually put makeup on to appear normal. Oh, here we go. Love the music in this part, too, actually. Oh, I am live. Okay, thank you. Yeah, in the original comics, he went to see The Mark of Zorro. He was big into Zorro films as a kid. I don't know who that actor is who played young Jack Napier there, but I thought he had a great face. Like, he really looks like a young Jack Nicholson. Now, as phenomenally well done as that scene was, I think they did a great job of dramatizing the pivotal moment in Bruce Wayne's life that defined the rest of his life. You know, it's almost all in slow motion, very dramatic, very slow and deliberate. The yeah, Vicky Vale's in the Batcave. We'll get to that in a moment. But in the original comics, it wasn't the Joker that killed his parents. It wasn't Jack Napier. There was no Jack Napier in the comics. That was the movie. This is, maybe they added him later, but added that name later. But prior to this movie, that name did not exist in the comics. In the comics, his parents were killed by just a random thug, which is what made it even more ironic and even more brutal, was the fact that it was completely random, could have happened to anybody. It was just a random thug named Joe Chill. And there's numerous stories in the comics that deal with him, not only remembering that and flashing back to it, but there are stories of when he actually tracked down Joe Chill and almost killed him and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome stuff. But yeah, so this part here, she's in the Batcave, wondering if she saw his face when she took the picture. I'm thinking maybe not, because she didn't really seem to be putting the pieces together mentally when he was trying to tell her about it later. But then some people say, well, yeah, she did, which is why, and then she told Alfred that she knew or something, like, off screen, so that's why Alfred brought her to the cave, because she already knew that he was Batman, so no harm done. Might as well just have them have their moment of love. Oh, that's a great shot. I love the almost anime. Oh, that's a great match shot as well. But again, doesn't quite match, but still looks good. I love the almost anime-esque strip of light across the eyes. You see that a lot in this movie. You saw it a lot when Vicky was first in the Batcave as well. It's very effective. Rest of the face in shadow. Just like the Bat Cocoon. You could get a version of the Batmobile toy that actually had the shield. It was basically like just a shell that went over it. That's great. Oh, that's a great shot, too. Anything with the Batmobile, man. Yeah, Tim Burton really knows how to shoot the Batmobile. I like the askew angles and the low shots and the high shots and just, oh, gorgeous. Well, Axis Chemicals won't be a problem anymore. Junior Birdman. That's funny. Isn't that a reference to like some old movie serial? Oh, here you are, Party Man again. Oh, sorry, this isn't Party Man, is it? This is, or is this Party Man? Give me a moment. It's been a while since I've heard the soundtrack. Trust, that's what it is. Oh, yeah, Trust. This is the one that we heard at the beginning for like 3 seconds. My bad. It actually is in the movie more significantly. There was never a video for this one. Mm-hmm. 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 Now, an actual event like this, it would be chaos in the streets. And you got to figure that's what the Joker was carrying, was counting on. Like, I'm going to drop money everywhere, and it's just going to be chaos and pandemonium in the streets. But they don't really play that up here. I don't know if that's, again, just due to Tim Burton's stress at the time, not really giving the extras much to do, or what the story was. But it seems the whole situation here seems very calm and relaxed and happy and fun, whereas the reality of it is, I think it would be a lot more chaotic. That's a weird composite shot there. Just looks kind of strange. That audio clip there, Get Him, Take the Pictures, Gotham's Greed, is actually in the soundtrack as well. Oh, the Batwing. Yes. I thought as far as basically gadgets we'd never seen before, the Batwing was one of the coolest. And I noticed in the animated series they kept the Batwing pretty much unchanged. I love that. I love all the things with the Batwing. Oh yeah, Roth says, haha, I like how on that Joker helicopter there was the comic style illustration on the decor. Yeah, that was totally the Joker copter straight out of the comics. There was no redesign there whatsoever. That was the classic Joker copter. Oh, nice. Raptor says he had a Batwing toy hanging from his ceiling as a kid. Let's check on a few comments here. Masquerade Jester asks a question. What was the point of that part when Bruce Wayne says you want to get nuts and then being shot by the Joker? Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. What was the point? I mean, obviously the point was to... Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say to escape, but surely he could have escaped after they left with Vicky and then rescued Vicky later as Batman by just hanging back in the bedroom or whatever. I don't know. He was trying to get him to slip up some way. It's hard to say. I think, honestly, it was just give Michael Keaton a crazy scene. I think that was the whole point. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, a bit of foreshadowing there. Actually, no, that wasn't the cathedral. That was just another random tower. I like the crying baby balloon. Yeah, there it is. So great. Oh, that stuntman is going to be in traction. Oh, it's going to blow. Hmm. It almost appears that he's been tarred and feathered. This is great. I like that. It's almost like he has a bat balloon catcher. And look at that. Perfectly notched to hold all the cables. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, that is just cold. That was so shitty for Bob. Poor Bob. What have I been saying all along? He was just such a loyal, trustworthy, reliable, get things done henchman. Classic shot. And they used that shot on the soundtrack album. Everybody in the theater burst out laughing at that part. Combination of laughing and cheering. If you look closely, you'll notice a stop-motion Batman in the cockpit of the wide shots of the Batwing. Oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. 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 How did he miss when he clearly targeted him? I'm going to say warning shot, intimidation, and didn't realize he had such a big long gun. I know. Well, some say that, oh, Batman doesn't kill people. Really? Keep track of the freaking body count in this next scene, and then tell me that Batman doesn't kill people. He kills people when there is no other way. He doesn't actively seek out a solution that will inevitably end in needing to kill someone, but he will kill someone if need be. Hunter Keister? Sorry. It's like Bassinger, Basinger, I don't know. Hunter says, he stole my balloons. I don't know why, but I've always remembered that line. Yes. Another line where everyone laughed. Yes. I love the music in this scene, too. It's funny because Danny Elfman himself has said in interviews that he thinks he went a little overboard with the music in this scene. But I think it's just fantastic. Love the use of pipe organ. I've always been a sucker for pipe organ. I also love the extreme angle shots. Really giving you the sense of size and height. See, he's still injured. He's still shaken up from the crash. But he is pursuing. This there's the ending scene in Dick Tracy, which came out the following year, the one with Warren Beatty. I love that, all the pews falling over like dominoes. Oh, so much for stealth. And Batman's just like zero fucks given. He just keeps going. So that's how far they've come so far, and where Batman is in the chase. So with one drop of a shoe, we have all of that established. Ugh. Oh, there we go. Javi says, I think the point was to make the Joker put his attention towards Bruce and not Vicky, I guess. And Bruce Wayne has a little crazy side, like Jack says Roth. Yeah. Silent Joe says great detail in this Blu-ray. Yeah, it's actually not bad. Like some people have said, oh, it's a little soft. But honestly, I think it being a little soft is just due to how it was filmed at the time. Like I think it's the fault of the source material, not the transfer. Um, because the other ones, I guess after this was such a big hit, Warner was more than happy to put even more money into the next one. So the next one, you'll notice, like Batman Returns, looks even more amazing on Blu-ray. So I actually attribute it to the the production at the time. Commissioner Gordon, ever the optimist, yeah. He's just like, yeah, it's not moving. Let's go. I like how none of the other officers attempted to help at all. Mm-hmm. Animated searchlights. I guess it was a matte painting, not a model, so they couldn't use actual lights on it. So they just used hand animated ones. That's great. Mm-hmm. Right in the nuts. It's not obvious, but that is what just happened. That was like the Indiana Jones moment. Where he shoots the sword guy. Yeah, you know the moment I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I think you mean a Cinderella reference, don't you, Roth? Roth said, I love that shoe part. Reference to Sleeping Beauty. I'm pretty sure that would be a Cinderella reference. Yeah. The bang gun. That's great. Vicky seems like drugged here for some reason. That was never made clear. Like, why is Vicky so stoned all of a sudden? Just tired from the climb? I don't know. Hmm. This guy is a formidable close quarters combat fighter. Batman. That was a great role. I was just gonna say, Batman's gonna have a tough time with this guy. He actually seems to know what he's doing. There you go. But no, Batman never kills anybody. Go read some comics. Seriously, you don't know what you're talking about. Joker has some great lines in this, I have to say. Wonderfully delivered by the inimitable Jack Nicholson. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Vicky Vale was about to go down on the Joker in a kids movie. Mm-hmm. 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 That's great. But for that split second, you don't know how that all, what all happened on the other side there. Joker copter. That's great. I do love the old school Joker comics logo on the copter there. That's great. See, now here's the question. Did Batman do that thinking that he would just fall off the ladder and then be dangling? Or did he do that expecting him to die? Knowing that if he lets him get away, there's only going to be more insanity to deal with down the road. Better to deal with him now. Mhm. Animated Joker falling there. I thought it was pretty good, though. Oh, shit! See, now that was a model, not a matte painting, so what the... Maybe they could have used... Well, I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't figure out how to do the lights properly on the model. I love the design of those grappling hooks. Just the claws and the hinges and everything, and like it really looks like something that could grip well. Hmm. I love the surrealness of that moment. Like, how is he still laughing? Hmm. Awesome. And the audience goes wild. That's great. Hmm. That's a great looking bat signal, too. I really like how they did that. Now, of course, in the practical sense, the bat signal makes no sense because you can't just have it appear at a set fixed point in the sky and be a perfect circle. No, it needs to be projecting on something to do that, but we've always just kind of let that one go, haven't we? Oh, it's on a perfectly flat cloud up there. Okay. Hmm. Oh, Roth says, I used to crack up so much at the gargoyle part. What are you laughing at? When I was a kid, used to rewind and play, rewind and play. Couldn't get enough of it. Oh, here we go. Gong. 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 That's great. Woohoo! William Hootkins, that's who it was. William Hootkins as Eckhart, who most of us probably remember as Porkins from the original Star Wars. Yes. He was also the creepy pervert guy in Hardware. William Hootkins. I always forget that that's him. He's such a different character. In fact, all three of those characters are very different. It's another great character actor. Oh, excuse me. Ross says that end music stuck with me all throughout my childhood, even till now. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, the cheesy love song. By the way, there was a music video for this one, too. It's the only song from the soundtrack that doesn't look like some weird, bizarro Batman world. At least Batdance and Party Man had kind of almost a continuity between them. But I think continuity-wise, it actually makes sense to watch Party Man before Batdance, just the music videos. This one, can't remember the name of the song. Again, it's been a while since I've listened to the Prince soundtrack. But this one was just a very plain music video of Prince singing and, you know, lots of close-ups and stuff. It was a weird stuff going on like the other ones. Yeah, when I first saw this, I mean, it basically just blew me away. I was like, wow, this is even better than I thought it was going to be. Now, in reviewings over the years, I've noticed, you know, there are certain inconsistencies. I mean, obviously, the big one being the Jack Napier versus Joe Chill thing, which I talked about earlier. That was one thing that I picked up on right away, especially since around the same time that this came out, as part of the Batmania that was going on, they released a reprint of a 3-part miniseries from, I guess, the late 70s, early 80s called The Untold Legend of the Batman. And they released it in sort of half-size comic, or maybe three-quarter-size comic form, with a fully dramatized audio adaptation of it on an audio cassette. So 3 volumes, 3 cassettes, 3 issues. And in that, they retell the origin of Batman. And, you know, and how he tracked down Joe Chill after a while and stuff like that. But, oh, excuse me, it's getting late. But very cool. Very cool. I do have that one in that stack of Batman stuff I was telling you about. I just need to find the stack, and then I'll, you know, I'm gonna do some other Batman related videos this year, obviously, because it's the 75th anniversary of Batman as a whole. So, definitely want to do some. Scandalous. That's what that one was called. Yeah. I think that's it. Are we done? Going back to the menu now. Oh, hold on. Hold on a second. Sometimes it just restarts the movie again, so you have to watch the movie forever. Oh my god, I actually have the warning in like 80 different languages here. Can we just get to the menu, please? Holy crap, just get to the menu, please. I'm begging you. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, this is a pretty good disc. Got there's a commentary by Tim Burton on the set with Bob Kane. That's what I was talking about. Sorry, I just got to the menu here of the disc. It just has an extras menu. It doesn't actually have a main menu. It just goes straight to the movie. On the set with Bob Kane, that's the one that has is just a very small piece of that much larger segment that 2020 did. It's a shame they haven't been able to include the full sequence. Legends of the Dark Knight, The History of Batman, Shadows of the Bat, The Cinematic Saga of the Dark Knight, Parts 1 to 3, Beyond Batman, you got Profiles, Batman the Heroes and Batman the Villains, brief character analyses by the filmmakers, cast, and fans, Batman the Complete Robin storyboard sequence. That's actually one of the scenes... oh, actually, no, that's a different scene. That's a different scene. I was going to say that's one of the scenes that's in the novelization, but it isn't. It actually isn't in the novelization. So they were originally going to introduce Robin in this one, but it just got to be too much to cram into one movie, so they excised that. They got the theatrical trailer on here, and they got all 3 music videos: Batdance, Party Man, and Scandalous. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely, you know, the anthology set and the digibook and basically all the Blu-ray releases of Batman are the same disc, just from the anthology set. Quite thorough. Like, definitely some really good archival extras and some, excuse me, a lot of good new stuff on there. But that said, nowhere near as much as I recorded back in the day. Yeah, all told, when everything's excised and edited and organized, I recorded roughly about 5 hours worth of material. Interviews, news stories, TV commercials, music videos, all kinds of stuff. A handful of which has been released officially since, such as the music videos and a couple other snippets. But for the most part, the rest of it will never see the light of day because it's, you know, it's part of news shows and whatnot. And unless you recorded them or know somebody who did, that's all you'll ever see of them. But I treasure those old VHS recordings for that reason, because, you know, just kind of fed my Batman obsession. Raptor says, I like to think on some nights Jack Nicholson puts on white makeup and laughs out loud to himself in private. Roth says, be kind, rewind. Yes, everybody rewind your VHS tapes now before you put them back on the shelf. Yeah, I actually had the original VHS release. Somebody commented, I think on the original Facebook post when I was talking about doing this viewing tonight, that they had the original VHS release and it had a Bugs Bunny cartoon on it. That's interesting. That must be from a different country or something, because the VHS release here that we got, at least in Canada, I assumed it was the same in the U.S. It was basically just the movie with just the plain, you know, the Batman symbol movie poster logo on it. And as for the tape itself, the only extra that was on it was there was a Diet Coke commercial that had been airing at the time, which featured Michael Gough as Alfred, and you know, calling Batman on the Bat phone while Batman's out fighting crime, and telling him that they're almost out of Diet Coke. So can he stop by the store on his way back to the cave? It doesn't actually have Michael Keaton. It just kind of has, like, you know, pre-recorded footage, just, you know, clips from the movie, interspersed with new clips of Alfred at Wayne Manor talking to him over the phone. It's quite silly, but yeah, it was a big deal at the time. It's like, oh my God, Batman in a Diet Coke commercial. So yeah, I don't know if they include that. I don't see that included here, but I remember that was on the VHS release, and I of course recorded it off TV as well. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Raptor, it was a perfect exercise in simplicity. He was just talking about the VHS cover. Yeah, that's all it was. It was literally just a black cover with the Bat logo, and that was it. Didn't even have the Batman name on it. And in fact, I think the back of the box didn't even have a description of the movie, because everybody knew what it was. It just had that, if I remember correctly, it had that picture that you've always seen of Batman basically throttling the Joker from the final scene there. And that was it. And then I think he just had a few review quotes, you know, like amazing, stunning, fantastic, oh, mind-blowing, whatever. And that was it. There's no, like, description. And then if you look at the spine, it would say Batman on the spine, but that was it. Like, it was a very simple cover. I always really liked it. I remember at the time I had, between when it was in the theater and when it came out on video, I got my first girlfriend, and was still kind of in the trying to win her over stage, and we were kind of tentatively, interested in each other. This wasn't Mindy. This was one before that. Her name was Christy, and so basically, she was fast discovering what an obsessive video collector I was. Now, here's the thing. She was not the sharpest pencil in the box, I guess you could say. Because as far as my collection goes, it should be fairly obvious that there are certain things I'm going to go out and buy the second they come out. So I went out and bought Batman on VHS, literally on release day. Because, I mean, as I said, I was completely obsessed with this movie. I needed to own it immediately, like as soon as it came out. So she knew this. She knew this. So she was like, oh, well, why'd you go and buy it? I'm like, because I love the movie and wanted to own it. Well, I was going to buy it for you for a present. I'm like, oh, well, buy me something else then. So I don't know what I can say. Like, honestly, I appreciate the thoughts, but it should have been pretty much a foregone conclusion that I was going to buy it the second it came out. I mean, come on, I saw it 3 times in the theater. I play the soundtrack all the time, every day. I talk about it constantly. I even started writing a script featuring my own dark superhero, inspired by Batman. I mean, nothing to do with Batman. It's a completely different story, and maybe I will actually finish it one of these days. But Batman was clearly the thing that prompted the development of that idea of that script. And yeah, so there you go. There you go. So very personal viewing today. Personal, anniversary, as it were. Well, maybe not the anniversary aspect of it, but certainly a trigger for me for a lot of memories and a lot of nostalgia. And every time I watch this movie, I think of that first apartment I had back in Selkirk and just all the good times and bad times that I had there. But this particular movie and the related media surrounding it, the soundtrack, the comics, and everything, were a very big part of my world there when I lived in Selkirk. So it's always well, I'm a very nostalgic person, just generally, not just in terms of movies and stuff, but just even in terms of my own life and memories. And this particular movie has always been a big connection to that era for me and such. Plus, I just love the movie and always will. This is easily my favorite of the live-action Batman movies, and I have yet to see one that tops it. As far as the animated ones go, for a long time, Mask of the Phantasm was my favorite because it was just so well done. Since then, I'm almost inclined to say that they've been replaced by some of the more recent direct-to-video ones, such as Batman Year One, Dark Knight Returns, and Under the Red Hood. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Anyway, I'm going to head off now, guys. Thank you very much, all of you who joined in, and hope you had a good time. And it's kind of an impromptu viewing tonight. I do have another video going up tomorrow. A Blu-ray update. Actually, tomorrow's video is a Blu-ray update, and quite a sizable one as well. So enjoy that, and yeah. So we'll do more impromptu viewings once in a while. Not sure when, not sure what. Might do something with the other Batman movies. I don't know. We'll see. I might actually just be doing the other Batman movies on my own, but we'll do some other stuff. And there's other ones that I'll be doing with the Geeky Crew and everything too. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. So that is pretty much that. Actually, no, they didn't. Castlevania. Castlevania said they released Batman on VHS simultaneously when it was in theaters. No, they did not. It had a good, solid theatrical run, and then it was several months later. I mean, it came out on VHS pretty quick, but it was at least 6 months after the theatrical release. There's no question about that. Trust me, I know, because I was waiting and waiting and waiting for that release. And yeah, they that's only, like, releasing movies on home video simultaneously with the theatrical release is only just now something that they're discussing. They haven't really done that before. I think they've done it before with one or two movies, and that's like in the past couple of years. It was certainly not 25 years ago in the days of VHS. Yeah, that never happened. Alrighty, that is it for me to you for now. So until next time, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for participating in a little bit of Batmania. This is a brand new shirt, actually, that my mom sent to me. I should mention I used to have one that was the Batman '89 movie logo, but it went mysteriously missing many, many moons ago. I need to get another one of these days, just to have. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Until next time, sayonara.